The best diving I've ever done in my life is actually here at Flower Garden Banks National Marine Sanctuary. I'm Lieutenant Dustin Picard. I'm with the NOAA Commission Corps and specifically Flower Garden Banks National Marine Sanctuary. It's a dream job. As a lot of NOAA Corps officers, we wear a lot of different hats, but predominantly I'm the Vessel Operations Coordinator. So we're on the RV Manta. We are the predominant research vessel for Flower Garden Banks National Marine Sanctuary. This is day 2 of a 3-day cruise. 2 main objectives of this cruise is the water quality, which we tackled on day 1 at each bank, and then as well as the mooring buoy work that we've been doing today. Flower Garden Banks has Stetson Bank, West Bank, and East Bank. Each bank actually has water quality instruments that are anchored to the seafloor, and as researchers, we go out and change those instruments every 3 months. Also, we've tacked on some mooring buoy work as well. And as part of our sanctuary management program, we actually go out there as researchers and install these buoys, making sure the general public, recreational divers, recreational fishermen can actually come out here and use the banks as a resource as well. So you kind of just see some of the highlights of some of my experience sailing on NOAA vessels. This is the American flag flown off the Ronald H. Brown. It was about a 28-day cruise, and we were doing some buoy deployments along the way in the equatorial Pacific. I've been in the Corps for about 5 years now. It's one of 7 services. Of course, you have your 5 armed services, then you have 2 uniformed services, one being the NOAA Commission Corps. And we support NOAA's research missions from American Samoa all the way up to Maine. I think NOAA Corps officers bring a diverse background, so I can slide in at any of the crew positions. So if a crew member needs to cruise off or something comes up, I can help facilitate that role. Or I can slide in as a research diver, working diver, scientific diver, even a dive master. That's some of the best part of my job, really. I say go out and do it. I think a lot of people have reservations because they look at it and they say it's such a big commitment, and yes it is, but I think you'll be surprised about the training and what you'll learn from yourself that you can actually go out and accomplish. I like to do a full career in the NOAA Corps, so that's my goal right now. But after, I'd like to stay working for NOAA. I've definitely enjoyed it. I've always wanted to work for NOAA since I've always been interested in environmental and marine science. I've been here down at Flower Garden Banks, which is based in Galveston, Texas, for about 2.5 years now. Out here 100 miles offshore, not many people get to experience this. These coral reefs are very healthy, over 50% coral coverage in some areas. So it's unlike any place I've ever dove. I feel very lucky every time I get to go in the water and see that. It takes your breath away, really. My favorite of the 3 banks has got to be West Bank. Something about it. So I always kind of joke West is the best, but that's not true. Each bank has its own characteristics that make it special. There are other banks and reefs out here in the Gulf of Mexico that are very similar in nature to East, West, and Stetson Bank. So it's pretty well known that the sanctuary is going through an expansion proposal right now. There's 5 proposals on the table. Each one has its own benefits. It's a dream working for the sanctuary program now, and after my time in the Corps, hopefully I can find myself in some type of role working for the National Marine Sanctuaries program.